Hello and welcome to my very first YouTube video for this new channel, which is all going to be about, gear reviews, checking out some of the gear I've got, give my opinions on it, give some sound samples and all that. And the first one we have today is the Boss Katana 50. I was going to say new Boss Katana 50, but I believe it came out at the end of 2016. I just bought it myself last weekend over at Guitar Center. I stopped by to check it out. It was $199. This is the 50-watt model, which is more than enough for me. I wasn't even looking for a 50-watt model for anything. I'm using this as just a bedroom practice amp. My main rig is my Marshall JCM 2000, the DSL 100, which is a 100-watt tube amp. It's way too loud for what I need it for. 4x12 cabinet, and I also run it with a PV6505 mini head, which that thing's very loud as well, and that's only like a 20-watt tube amp. This is an all solid state amp. It's analog. If you buy something like this, if you're not looking to sound like a tube amp, you just want a practice amp, it's a solid state amp, but it has some great features to it. The big thing here is that you have 5 different channels. You have the brown channel, which it really, it kind of emulates a nice cranked old Marshall kind of sound, like the Eddie Van Halen sound and everything. You have a lead channel, which you can really turn the gain all the way up and just blast through some good lead solos. There's a crunch channel on there. There's a clean channel, and then there's an acoustic channel, so you can even plug an acoustic into this and use this as like a little PA. All the channels are very usable. That's the main thing I want to get through on this. I've also got a Marshall Code 25 practice amp and an Orange Pix, the 35-watt practice amp. Compared to them, this thing blows them away, by far. There's more usable tone out of this, I believe, than the Marshall Code 25. The Code 25 it's a nice little practice amp, but to really get a sound you want, it takes a long time to dial in all of your settings because there's just so many settings on it. It has speaker emulation and everything, which if you turn off the speaker emulation, it does not sound good coming out of that speaker. With this amp, they custom made the Katana speaker to go with the voicings of all the different channels. So Boss really, they really did the research with this. It seems like. From what I can tell and what I've heard, the pedal, the amp takes pedals very well since it is a Boss amp. They really want to play friendly with all of their pedals. But at the same time, built in, they have many Boss pedals as well. So you have a lot of Boss distortion type of pedals. You have effects like, Octave, which sounds really nice. It sounds a lot like my OC2 and my OC3 when you really crank it up. You can plug this into your computer. You can change out all the effects with all different effects that Boss has. I think they're saying that there's 55 total that you can throw onto this amp. You can have 3 on at the same time though, and it depends on which 3 you have. You can't have certain things mixed with other things, but you could check that out, and I believe it's called Boss Tone Studio. It just plugs into USB. I use it with my Windows computer. There was no problem with it. It worked well. Basically this amp, it sounds really good for what it is, which is, a 50-watt solid state practice amp. It's loud. 50 watts is very loud. I hardly ever play with it on 50 watts, but in all my demos coming up, they will be set to 50 watt. Usually I play it at either the half watt or the 25 watt setting, and it's still very loud. I haven't tried to, play it keeping up with a drummer or anything, but, I'm sure it could, especially on the distortion channels. The cleans might need a little more headroom. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that yet. I'm going to be using an 89 Fender Strat, USA Strat with single coils. It's got lace sensors. I'm going to be using a G&L Rampage with a humbucker, and it's a single humbucker. It's a very high output humbucker. So you'll hear, for example, the Strat with its single coils is a lot lower output than the Rampage, which is very hot. So you'll hear the difference with that. I'm also going to use a G&L ASAT. I'm going to run through a clean channel and a distortion channel on it, so you can hear what the humbuckers and that sound like. Those humbuckers aren't hot at all. They're geared more towards that bluesy kind of sound on it. I'm also going to use my Parker P42, which is drop tuned into detuning. I'm going to use it with the Octave effect on there, which, like I said, sounds very good. When you go into Tone Studio, you can change the effects around, and what I did was I made it so the Octave pedal, which is one of the mods on there, which is one of the effects I believe, you can put that in front of the gain as if you're running a pedal in front of the amp. The stock setting has it coming after as if it were in an effects loop, but I like that nice crunchy sound of putting the octave pedal before the distortion, which sounds, it's the very CKY kind of sound. It's good for riffs and everything. So that's what the Parker demonstrates on there. Check it out. I hope you like it, and I hope it helps somebody who's checking out this amp. So my overall impression of the Boss Katana 50 is I really like this amp. It's definitely worth for a good practice amp. You know, they come in at a very low cost. The 50 watt version, it's $199. I believe the 100 watt version it's about $325 or something like that. Honestly, I don't need the 100 watt version. The only difference is the 100 watt version has, they say that the speaker has a bigger magnet in it, so maybe it sounds better. I don't know. Overall for the price, I mean, the Marshall code was the same price. I think my orange was, you know, about $50 more, and this thing just sounds so much better than both, and it just does much more than both. Overall, it's a very good amp, totally worth checking out. This is a great practice amp for someone like myself. If you want a solid state amp that sounds like a good solid state amp, this is something you want to check out. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked the first video, and I'm going to have a lot more to come. Thanks.